Hi there guys, my friends on YouTube. Welcome to yet another sunny day here in Gothenburg, Sweden. This is my little haven. Parts of my living room. I divided the room. Multiple cabinet. The fog is on. You can see a lot of cacti, orchids, or orchid cacti. I never remember in which order to say it, but they're here as well. The Cattleya is progressing with a lot of new sheath on Cacti I never thought would perform. Some of them I am thinking about selling, and then suddenly after a few years they start to perform. As if they heard my thoughts on getting rid of them. I'm going to include a balcony tour in this video, as it was a little request from one of my viewers. Thank you. And there's a daycare center for children down my balcony, so there's going to be a lot of screaming and laughing, but that's the way it is, as I want to film when the sun's still out. It looks a little bit prettier that way. So this is morning, around 10 o'clock. We've been getting a lot of sunny hours, sunny days, but now it's been very, very cold. Yeah, some kind of a cold-ish record. Yes. So I needed to wait to get the plants out here. Some of the plants I picked out, which I thought were suitable for being outside, which could take the cooler temperatures. Yeah, look at that one. Yeah. Orchid cacti. Producing small dragon fruit-like-ish berries, edible as well. So it's a funny plant. On each spot where there's been a flower, it pollinates itself. So we get some fruits. Nice reward after having seen the beautiful flowers. Short-lived ones, I might add. So orchids are better, of course. The plants get a lot of sun from approximately 4 to 5, maybe 5 o'clock a.m. until 11:12. So a lot of morning sun. What did I do this year? Yeah, I picked the Brassavola digbyana. The old names on the tag. Nowadays it's Rincolaleo digbyana. Very light craving orchid, as you can see. Very fleshy, medium green leaves now, which means that it's been receiving good light, but not good enough. It needs to get its foliage almost yellowish, I've seen, for it to bloom. I may be wrong, but the ones I've seen in bloom had the yellow tone to the leaves. So a lot of moisture, a lot of drop in temperatures, nothing to shield it from the sun. And the same goes for this one. I think I got this one from Karin last year. It's a very, very difficult plant to get into bloom, it seems. Dendrobium Garden Sunray. Yeah, sunray tells us a lot. And it produces yellow, beautiful egg yolk flowers. It may produce flowers like that, but it also needs a good deal of sun. And that's not so common when it comes to many of the dendrobium types. So I just figured, why not let this new growth grow better and expose it to real strong sun. Here, another, quite, for me, anyways, tricky dendrobium. It's Dendrobium delicadum. Yes, delicadum. Can produce clusters of beautiful white flowers, really fragrant, related to the Kingianums from Australia. Yeah. This one was a tiny, tiny little plant when I, like this, yeah, this section was that when I first got it. So it's been growing on excessively and very fast. So it must like it in a sense, but it's producing sheath at least. But maybe this will do some good. Yes. There's another plant. Agapanthus everpuntus. Yeah, it's not an orchid. I've never had this one before. My dad's got it, and his lady as well. Getting there. So. Ah, yeah. And I did bring my Renanthera Mona Chica out here from the cabinet. This one refuses to bloom for me, and it can bloom. Relatively tiny. It's growing on well with very nice roots. Whoops! Look, you can see. And look who's coming. Yes. What am I doing? I'm out here, yeah. So I don't think that will fall. Anyways, maybe it will trigger it to bloom, or not. At least it can take highlights. It's got very thick and fleshy leaves, so it's used to sitting in very, very high artificial lights. This is something different, really, but it can take it. It's been here for at least 1.5 weeks. The accordion leaf one, I put it here yesterday. The I don't remember names today, obviously. The Pescatoria Diana, Rhodacra, Columbia, the little bit more hot growing one, but I think a change would do it some good. Perhaps it would be worse, but with the accordion leaves. But this one came out right. Ooh, here's a bumblebee. I don't think you're going to get anything out from coming here. Not bloom-wise, anyways. Yeah, so, what's this? Yeah, it's another Renanthera. Cosy is a hybrid. Which, fortunately, produces kikis. It's a monopodial growing one, so the new fans will be produced from the base, yeah, sideways. But I had it there. Well, fully exposed to every type of weather. Cold damage, yeah. Its leaves are getting a little bit soft. It's been too cool for it. And after that, trying to protect itself, yeah. So I was thinking about moving it down to here when I was leaving, but I forgot it. So now it looks a bit crappy. That is my own fault. But it can't take a lot of sunbath. It couldn't take or stand the cool temperatures. We were having around, at some point, we had 6 degrees Celsius during nighttime. Yeah, and 25 during daytime, so it's a very strange weather this summer. Yeah, but anyways, the maxillaria, getting the best spot of them all. This is a plant I will never get rid of, no matter how wide it decides to grow. I can always cut off a couple of sections from the middle, or a section like this. Stick it down to a pot as the roots are underneath here, underneath the sheath. Or I can just bring a couple of sections to the Orchid Society and give it away for free to someone who would like to have a well-grown maxillaria. Yeah, but it can take very good sun. So, what else is that? See, Angrecum crestwood. This stubborn little plant won't bloom for me. I tried everything. Gave it dropping temperatures, outside on the balcony. It's been in my kitchen. It's been in my living room window. Yeah, I've tried everything. It's not blooming. So, I don't know. And Polydota chanensis is growing very wide now. Yeah, it's easy to care for one, as long as I water it well. So I'm just going over them with my watering can. quite often. And Mother Nature will do the rest. So sleep, my little doggy. Yeah, and here's my Anglican bosserii. It always gets at least 1 week outside on the balcony each summer. And it's always been to its benefit. Normally it takes only 1 week with a bit of a change, drop in temperatures, to induce the flower spike. You can see it's been blooming several times before, but it needs to stay out here. You can't bring it indoors as the flower spikes are progressing. They will blast if you're unlucky. But it always did the trick, and so it will this year. This is the day after, and it's raining. I just had to go out here and check one more time and see if I missed anything, which I did. There is a spike. Not so tiny, so no wonder I missed it. Looks a little bit like the spike it had 2 years ago when I brought the whole plant inside. When, the spike had grown this far, and then it stopped. Last year's spike, a lot better. Yeah, you can see, this is what a good spike shall look like. So, just wanted to show you that it did a trick even this year, but there's not enough good new leaves here this year. Hence, the tiny, slender spike. And here we have for me a very huge and very tricky Dendrobium chrysotoxum. I will get this thing into bloom one day. It had its chance. It's not going to bloom this season either. So now 2 seasons without any blooms. But anyways, I do not think it will bloom anytime soon. But it's a large plant. Nice to get it out of the way. Make space for something else to grow better. Yeah, this one really needs a lot of water. Sologeny cristata. Yeah, these were all new growth. I was hoping for it to produce flower spikes excessively this year, as it's been blooming before, but it was new growth, so, well, alright, it's alright. Here, Cattleya maxima. This beautiful plant, growing on so nicely, producing an abundance of sheath, but never, ever anything in them. My friend's got a mother plant, and that one is creating a lot of blooms, so mine isn't. Then I heard that this one is a stubborn one, maybe a stubborn one, so in order to get it into bloom, it needs to be outside, a little bit cooler, for some period of time. So I thought I'd try that one out and see what happens. And here's the Laelia. Yeah, it's relatively crowded here as well. Laelia lobata, variation concolor, Jenny times south. It's growing extremely well, sitting in its moss and bark mixture. Yeah, full sun exposure almost. Needs a good deal of light, but it is mature. But it's not blooming. So now, you better do your thing, yeah? It's relatively rare, that one. As well as my Cattleya bochevicii. I keep it in my Cattleya window, where all of the rest of the Cattleya species loves it. So this one needs lower temperatures. I've noticed or heard, or I think I'm guessing, but I think it needs something different than the warmer growing Cattleyas. So that's why she's here this season until September, when the nighttime temperature switches. I don't want to have them here as the nighttime temperature drops to below 10 degrees Celsius, yeah? So it's been a tough time for him, even in June, as I said, 6 degrees Celsius, one night. Anyways, here's the Cymbidium ice cascade. Bloom for me, likes it, and likes a good deal of light. So this one can work as a little protection from the from the strongest sunlights, in order not to burn the newbies here, which aren't very acclimatized and adapted to real direct sun rays. Yeah, can easily burn the foliage, no matter how fleshy. But there's a better chance that the fleshier leaves won't burn, but they can still get a couple of burning marks, especially when they're wet. So you better be careful, so you won't bring an ugly orchid in again after the summer period. Here's a couple of stubborn other Cattleyas. Yeah, one creating a trianae, my tiny trianae. Always creating a sheath. But she refuses to fill him up with something. But at the time, I thought this plant would die on me. So its progress has been, amazing. As you can see, it arrived with cut leaves. And it was in a very bad state. So I'd say that this is beautiful progress. Yeah. And this plant is one of the plants I hate. This is what happened when I brought her outside. Yellowing leaves. And it's not even dry. But it's got a couple of new roots coming and growth and stuff. But this one never blooms. And it was a very expensive plant as well. So, and it's from Karin. The ones from Karin always blooms. But it's the Cacti, pink carambola. It's the Marii and Panterina. So the Marii is a very tricky orchid. Yeah. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this one, but yeah, we shall see. Anyways, something else here. Yeah, Callia warneri, also a species. Creating sheath. I think this is I'm gonna bring her down. This is the third sheath she's producing in my care. This was a blind one, and she also had a blind one some time ago. But this one is, that one. That was left of the sheath. As this one also, just like the Labiatus, creates double sheath. As I was curious about what was in the sheath, as I realized that it wouldn't bloom, and that there still was something dead, perhaps dead buds in there, a soggy mess. So I ripped off the big sheath, and look what was hiding inside the sheath. No dead buds, but a secondary sheath. So this one and the Labiata, I believe, comes from the relatively same region in the world. Yeah, and here's another one. I don't really know if I'm going to keep this one. But I'm only keeping it as it was quite expensive one, and an awarded one, and quite rare. But what use do I have of a plant not doing anything, not performing? New growth, but doesn't mean that she will bloom. But she's just hanging there. She'll stay here. It doesn't like highlights, so this is a good spot to hang the ones which doesn't benefit from highlights. As well as the Dendrobium parisiae, now creating a new growth, which will hopefully bloom next season. As it did not do anything this season, simply created a couple of kikis to the largest canes. This one I can snap off and put into a separate container and sell, as I did for one of our other kikis. Yeah. So before I forget about it, just gonna do it. I think. Am I? I'm not sure. Am I? No. Doesn't have any. Now, I'll need to wait. Doesn't have any roots yet. Only one little root there is not enough. But anyways, something to consider in the future, in 1 month's time or so. And here's my beautiful. Look at the weed. The weed is even prettier than the plant itself. Coleogene Massangina. Loves to be grown outdoors in summertime. This is becoming a very nice specimen plant, reliably blooming at least once or twice a year. Yeah, in winter. Yeah, I don't have the heart to get rid of the weed here, or whatever it is. Lovely blue flowers. Yeah, which really progressed when I brought this plant outdoors. Yeah. And here, a little Sophronitis cattleya. Hazel Boyd. Yeah. Maybe she likes cooler temperatures. Yeah. And here I have a few plants which refuses to bloom for me. Miltasia. I don't know, refuses, but they usually bloom for me or rebloom, but this one won't. So Miltasia Charles M. Fitz Izumi. And what is this? It's a relatively new acquisition. Yeah, Digmara. Winter Wonderland White Fairy from Orchids Deluxe. So it's a new acquisition. And it could benefit from being outside, so I just did. That one, yeah. No further introduction to that one, but I came up with an idea how to not get him to become too overwatered. So, yogurt can. I made a couple of holes to the bottom. Roast a couple of gravel. So this way it won't be overwatered. Yeah. And I applied that concept to a couple of plants here just to see what happens. And these guys are sitting in little saucers. It doesn't matter, as clay pots will deal with the excess water. So I'm not afraid that they're going to be overwatered. So this was my this is my balcony area for this summer of 25. Now I'm going to take you guys with me on a little trip to a lovely garden center in another city, about 1 hour's ride away from here. Yeah, I'm going to go stroll about and look at the lovely blooms. Some are orchids and some aren't. And I'm going to see if I can buy something, if they have anything for sale that appeals to me. A little bit of cacti as well. And euphorbias are going to be included in this video. So stay tuned if you like garden center tours. This lovely garden center always surprises me. As you can see, they have Save an Orchid. And you get it real cheap, always with the red little labels. So, this is not a chain. This is a family business, so they can do whatever they please. Look down here. This I've never seen here before. Masdevallia ignea. It's a species at a very good price, around €16. And you can see their own little compositions, creations, if you so will. Yeah, microclimate. Still very popular here. Looks some kind of epiphyllum, but I wouldn't buy that one. First of all, it was €100, and second of all, the flowers are too tiny for my liking. Yeah, but there are plenty, but too tiny. Look, another monster for sale. I don't know what it is really. And as always, a great selection of cacti, various type, and succulents. And this is not a very common sight, overblown dendrobium nobile types, but they do sell them for about €9 each. And this one's probably been at its best last year, but I still saved it for somebody else to buy, and now it's in bloom again. Epidendrums. Grows very tall. Always comes at a very good price. These types of epidendrums. Something else. Cygo, perhaps. And as you can see, even in the best of conditions, they don't thrive. Yeah. Miniature plants have become a new addiction. Woo! The cheap whores anyways. And loads of philodendrons. I could buy their entire range if I had the space. There's always lack of space. That's the issue. Some of them aren't in a very great state, I wouldn't say. But if anybody would like to take care of and save an ugly and sometimes overbloomed plant, it's up to each and every one of the customers to decide. This one looks healthy enough. Good price anyways. I'm going through all of them, obviously. But, yeah. So many different varieties. And the alocasias aren't that bad either. But stop here. Yay. Go home. But now over to the orchid I bought. Yeah. And that would be something I'm not sure if I can handle. Yeah, I've had one. I think only one Masdevallia throughout my orchid growing journey. Failed with that one, never bought another. But as I saw this beautiful specimen plant, look, Masdevallia ignea. I mean, a relatively good price in moss. And it's sort of dry now, and a bit of bark to the bottom. Yes, it's all right. It shouldn't be potted far too low down into the pot, but I see roots there which have stopped growing. So, but they seem to be growing very fiercely and very great. So, new leaves coming. And I think it's a strong plant. It really is. And it's sometimes you can find this one at local garden centers, along with a couple of hybrids. It's actually the only species I've seen. The sepal is arching over to protect it. This is a smart plant. Yeah, but anyways, it's a good sized one. And the problem is that it's a cooler grower, cool to intermediate one. Some say that you should keep it moderate to damp at all times. Others say, let it dry out a little bit in between the waterings. Some say that it grows very nicely in a regular room environment. And others say that it doesn't. So, what to think about it? I'm willing to give it yet one more try. I'm not sure whether I should keep it outside during summer or not. Maybe just try to keep it on the windowsill and see what happens. It's readily available if I fail, but I don't think I wanna. I don't think I am gonna fail. But what I will do is saturate this clay pot until perhaps tomorrow. Yeah, let it sit down, soak, expand the pores. I'm just going to stick that one down as it is, probably. Maybe add yeah, a thin layer of newsbag and perlite stuff around it. Yes, I think that's all I'm going to do. And the species grows in Peru and Colombia. Yeah, keep it in low to medium lights. When they say low to medium lights, what they really mean is always something a little bit higher than you interpret it. So that's the thing with reading care guides. It's very easy to understand them wrong. Well, look at this flower. I like the one with the stripes, but there are others with shorter stems and smaller flowers which are lacking the stripes. Comes in a yellow form, the flava as well, and other variations. Oh, look at the actual gap down there. Yeah, it's a gorgeous plant, and I'm going to make sure that I take a photo of this beautiful flower before it goes over. But I like that store. Yeah, they have everything in that store, except for food. Everything for the garden. So it wasn't really the time for orchids. You'll have to wait until September, October again, until they have a lot of new stuff, new orchids in stock. And probably will revisit them come October, after they have gotten all of the plants which they didn't sell at the plant fair. So they always get the unsold plants, and which they are selling to half the price. So I've been there before. I can link to that video if you'd like to. You can see for yourself what this store assortment normally looks like when it comes to orchids. It's just a little bit unlucky, but I thought it was nice to look at some other plants as well. For a change, yes. So you guys, now it's been 3 weeks since I bought the Master Valium, and I've been away on vacation for 1 week, and I was afraid that, yeah, she would dry out too much, the medium, so I bought this little self-watering frog, which turned out to be broken, cracked, but it doesn't leak, so it's alright. But anyways, put her next to the fogger, which switches on a couple of times a day, and the medium is a little bit damp now, but I must say that she is still alive, new root tips, and she looks quite fine, foliage. But I'm thinking about replacing the LED tube here. I think it's a little bit too strong with 5,000 lumen, so I bought another LED tube with half the level of lumens, so 2,500 or so. I bought this one instead, which the web shop claimed to be a grow LED lights, but no, I'm not really sure that it is, but a little bit better on the scale of red and blue and white, yeah, than that one. And it's thinner, so it saves space, and even the voltage is a little bit less. The other one is 44, so it's alright. Neutral white. So here you can see the specifications for it. Yeah, I'm gonna try that one out. Yes. Today's harvest. Euphorbia milli. Even though a totally different plant, the names they keep are still very similar to orchid names. And a cattleya called Millerii. This one is milli. I'm sitting in cacti soil. This is a plant I got for €3.50. Yeah. But the price wasn't it. The size of it. They grow large. At least 40, even more centimeters. The first time I got acquainted to this was in the stairwell. My neighbor left it there, probably to more or less die. No, she didn't want it anymore, probably, or obviously. So she just put it there and splashed a bit of water onto it once a month. Trickle. I wanted to bring it into my apartment, home with me, but I just didn't, yeah. Anyways, so I was more or less taking care of it a little bit myself, as I thought she didn't do it. So I got a little memory of this guy. In Sweden we call it Christ, thorn, crown, or something like that. Yes. And we get quite annoying thorns here to the stem in due time. But I think that's the beauty with this plant. You should keep it bright, moderate watering throughout the summer period, and very little watering during winter when it's cooler. The cacti soil is totally fine, as you can see. I mixed it up with a little bit of perlite. Yeah, should be fertilized during the summertime, but very, very diluted. So not a high strength fertilizer. I'd say 1/4 of a regular houseplant fertilizer will be fine for it. So I was going to sit in my southeast facing window with direct sunlight. It's going to be perfect. But first of all, I'm going to repot her. Cacti soil and some perlite I just soaked for a bit or washed as the debris. So some kind of glass particles which aren't very healthy for you to breathe in through your nose. So I thought about it, but I was kind of sort of ruthless or careless to myself. So I will bear this in mind. Just a little bit like this. Yes. And a couple of pieces of rose stones. Yeah. Just scratch off a little bit of it. So. And as this now is going to be a larger pot, I need to be very careful with waterings. But the clay pot will help me out a lot to regulate the water accessibility and the way it's distributed into the pot. Now, it's not a bird, it's my new clock I bought with bird sounds every hour. I wonder how long it will take until I get so annoyed by it. But fortunately, you can switch that function off. Good thing. Yeah. A little bit like this. So, we potted and all. I'm going to place a tag in there, because I love tags. Proper tags. They dried a little bit, but yeah, it's all right. So it meant 10 o'clock. Nightingale. That's what you heard. That was funny. A little bit childish though, but I like birds. So that's the sound of the bird singing you heard as the clock strike 10 p.m. And I got another euphorbia. It's nice with something different. I know it's an orchid channel, but it's just fun to show you what I've got else. But I cannot have an orchid channel, a cacti, succulent channel, houseplant channel, and stuff as well. So every once in a while, I will need to include a couple of other stuff. Hope that's all right with you guys. Not too much, but just a little bit. Yeah. So here's my other Euphorbia lactea cristata, probably. Very slow grower. Not very. I think she's expanded widthwise. But it goes so very slowly. So maybe that thing is new. Yeah, you see my point. I've been watering her very specially. And you guys, I almost forgot to include the largest euphorbia I've got in my collection. This one's Latin name is Euphorbia leuconura. And spread seeds to reproduce. It's no longer grown commercially in large scale, so it's fairly difficult to find a sample of this plant nowadays. It only pops up occasionally, and then you need to get there and be there. But it doesn't matter. It's, as I said, spreads a seed very, very fiercely. So now it's in my Phalaenopsis schilleriana. This one fell out, or shall we say I dropped this, the whole orchid down to my floor, so and this one flew out. So I need to repot this little guy. I don't have the heart to throw it away. So, but what did I see? Just the other day, it's in my Dendrobium Phalaenopsis as well, down there. Yeah, relatively new seed, so hasn't been there for long yet. And where else did I see it? Oh. Yeah, in my philodendron. I'm not even gonna bother to pronounce that, but here. And last but not least, let me bring that orchid, that Paphipetalum, down for you. Since it looks very funny, I just need to demonstrate it for you. Yeah. So I guess it's gonna be a little update on this Paphipetalum included in this video as well, as so many other things. But Paph Hun Shing Eagle. It's a very large Paphipetalum. Hasn't bloomed yet, unfortunately. But I can wait. Look at the weed. So pretty. I ripped it out 1 month ago, but now it's back on a large scale again. But here, the Euphorbia. Look, it's growing on nicely in there. And this kind of medium. Bark and stuff. Grow stones. And there's another little guy. So now counted them up till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna put these guys into cacti soil. Yes, soil which is not very rich in nutrients. Yes, and a little bit of perlite. And I think I'm gonna put all of them into a community pot. My grandma had a couple of these when I was little, so she taught me how to cultivate them. That's why these euphorbias got a real special place in my heart, still. They will never replace the orchids, but a little bit of something sometimes will only refresh the hobby, I think. Let us look at the little cacti I bought as well. Just a brief look. And a short update on what they look like today, a couple of weeks later. Yeah. But another little cacti I found for €2.50. I looked at the price, and I looked, whoa, it's in bloom. It's just a little cacti. Nothing fancy. It's fancy that it was in bloom and a good price. And that it's tiny. But I'm not sure really what it is, but maybe a parodia. And the name for especially this one, I'm not sure. Horrida, maybe? Yeah, there's also a succulent plant within the cacti tribe. Yeah, including 65 species. Comes from South America. Nothing more to it than that. I don't know how tall these guys grow. I don't know anything more than I like it. Yes? There's some kind of, what's this? Looks like some kind of glue to the base of the flowers. Strange. But I know too little about them, so maybe you guys know what it is, but I certainly don't. Something there as well. Yeah, just a little cacti. And this beautiful pot I bought today. Couldn't resist it. What else I couldn't resist is the last cacti for today. Yeah, very expensive for being a cacti this size. I'm sure I could get it a lot cheaper somewhere else, internet shop somewhere, but I don't care. as it's in bud. But I found the genus for it is Gymnocalism miharovicii. Could be. Or maybe the more rare variety, Gymnocalism variegated form variegata. Yeah, I'm not sure, really. And I thought that this looked like a very, very nice cacti to have. Yeah, it's been 3 weeks. The milli needs some water. And this one is in full bloom. So this is what its bloom looks like. I think it's pretty, real pretty. I would have preferred, of course, not of course, but I would have preferred another tone, another color to the flower. For instance, red. But they aren't. But I still like it. And this one is in bloom. Still. Opens fairly slow. We missed this one. Yesterday was fully open. Looked about just like that one, but a little bit more whitish. But in return, there are 3 new buds there, which I didn't see before. So there are, and yeah, Queen of the Nights as well. Very, very rapid flowering. But I did repot all of them, so you can see. Didn't affect them at all. I want to keep them in similar mediums, similar pot, as I thought that it would be easier for me to take care of them if they were sitting in similar pots, in similar medium, and stuff like that. So, just a brief 3 weeks later update. I think they're quite funny to have, as I do have, yes, some spare space, which provides very bright light, morning light, so. And the space happens to be free, and the cacti themselves, some of them won't grow tall. Oh, that's perfect. A little refreshing hobby alongside with the orchids. Yeah? But anyways, hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and tell me what you think about me showing other stuff than orchids every once in a while. Yeah. Take care. Talk soon.